what set off this latest retreat for chip stocks? Because it seems like loads has happened since we spoke yesterday. And actually, it seems to be somewhat easing. Nasdaq futures pointing higher.
A little bit more calm this morning, perhaps, Lizzie. But to put things in context, we'd had the big pullback, we'd had a big rally. And then taking a step back, investors are probably now looking at the fact that we've got free cash flow from the hyperscalers turning negative. We've then got the raisings that we are seeing by many of the AI firms now, where they're attracting very high yields, which is attractive for bond investors. And perhaps global investors are seeing better potential returns in that market than they are from the equities themselves. So that raises some questions around this whole race to become the kind of the AI champion, if you like. So there are many moving parts, and that's all around free cash flow, it's around returns, it's around, in fact, one of the Bloomberg macro strategists overnight was talking about weighted average cost of capital, WACC, which is something that has never really been a key concern for tech stocks historically, but now seems to be coming to the fore. So that's something to keep a watch on.
It's interesting that the tech story is not just an equity story, but a bond story as well now. Where does it then leave the wider AI and tech trade? Because the sort of volatility that we've seen on the Kospi feels like the new normal. I'm just checking in on the Kospi here, and yet again we're down more than nearly 6% today.
It's been a very volatile market, as we know. There's been a lot of retail participation in that market as well, and the foreign investment flows back and forward, and very short-term in nature. And we've heard this morning from Hynix, for example, announcing a large buyback, which can be justified by the fact they're having very high free cash flow at the moment. But then those with longer memories will remember that this commodity part of the market, in terms of memory, can be very volatile in terms of free cash flow and earnings. So are they providing sort of future proof, or are they actually sort of providing returns which aren't necessarily sustainable if the market turns in the future? Yeah,
and of course the retail investor is such a key component. You would think they'd been burnt by now by the roller coaster ride that is the Kospi. But let me just stay in Asia, because we've had this whopping great debut from Unitree Robotics in Shanghai. Shares up 629% off the IPO. So it's a humanoid robot maker. Embodied AI is the term.
Yeah.
You know, this sort of fantasy AI, we've heard a lot of excitement about. But why is this particular company creating such excitement?
I think that if we look at the robotic market on a wider basis, then obviously China has been a fast adopter of robots anyway, given the high manufacturing complexities in the country. They have 70% share of robots. Humanoid robots, China produces 97% market share, up from 85 to 90 last year. So they are the leader in humanoid robots. And it's something that people like Elon Musk have talked about a lot in the past, but it's China that's actually developing the technology, and this is a global leader as well as Chinese champion, if you like, for that industry.